Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tami Winkle. So today we're gonna do the part 2 of the Did I Move Back to Jamaica vlog. Let's go. If you watched my last video, then you already know I had a lot of questions to answer about Jamaica, my life and experiences. But after that video, I realized there are still so many things I didn't get to talk about. So today we're going a little more into my experience living overseas. Coming back to Jamaica, how it changed me, and just some things I've experienced along the way. So if you've been following me for a while, some of this might bring back memories for you. And if you're new here, you're going to get to know me a little bit better. So grab your drink, get comfortable, and let's get into it. First question, are you married? Yes, I am married. I got engaged in Jamaica, then I migrated to America, and I got married in 2019. Some of you have been following me since that journey, so you already know that story. And yes, we're still married, still together. I've just been spending a lot more time in Jamaica, and my wife comes here to visit me, and also I go back to America to spend time with her. And if you're new here and want to know more about that part of my life, the K1 visa process, I actually have a video on my channel documenting that whole journey. So you definitely can go back and check those out. What was it like adjusting to life in America? One of the biggest adjustments for me was the way people greet each other. When I'm in Jamaica, especially when I see somebody older, I'm used to saying good morning, good evening, good night. If I'm passing somebody, that's just how I was raised. But when I'm in America, it's not really a thing like that. And I'm always fighting the urge to say good morning to everybody. Another thing I had to learn is when somebody say, hi, how are you? How you doing? They're not necessarily asking you to actually tell them how you're doing. That's just how they greet each other. So you can't be like, well, I'm fine, this happened today. They're just saying hello. So that was something I had to get used to. And then there's the whole language thing. Because even though Jamaicans, we speak English, we also speak patois, right? And when you're in Jamaica or around other Jamaicans, you're so fluent in it that you don't even have to think about what you say, you just talk. When you go to America, sometimes you have to think before you speak or try to explain yourself in a way that they're going to understand. Even for me, I noticed something interesting happening. When I'm in America, I speak standard English. When I'm in Jamaica, I speak straight patois. Or, right now, because I have a lot of different people watching my channel, I do try to create that balance where everyone will understand. Now that I've been going back and forth, sometimes my brain is literally like, wait, are you speaking patois right now, or you're supposed to be speaking English? And sometimes I'm in the middle trying to figure out exactly what I'm trying to say. Because I've been away from Jamaica so long, I have to get back into the rhythm of speaking patois naturally. When I go back to America, I have to switch back into the straight English mode. So it's funny because I'm Jamaican, I'm speaking English, I'm speaking patois, and sometimes my brain is like, girl, what are you trying to say? What you say? Make up your mind. And that's when I realized that even language can be a part of the adjustment when you're living between two different cultures. And then there are certain phrases Americans say that took me a minute to understand. Like, let me hold that. And I'm like, it's right there. What do you mean, let me hold that? It's right there. Just take it up. But they are really saying, pass that to me, give me that. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then there's sorry. In Jamaica, if someone is in your way and you're trying to pass, you might say sorry. Basically mean excuse me, let me pass, right? But in America, when someone says sorry, they're thinking you're apologizing for something. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to tell you to move so we can pass. Even something like get biggie. I'm not saying the person is like, like, no, that is not what I'm saying. I'm saying they grew up. So there were little moments where I am speaking English, they're speaking English, but somehow there's still a language barrier. But over time, when you're there, you get to understand what things mean, and even your English have improved. And then there's the food. The way I grew up eating in Jamaica and what some Americans consider a meal can be very different, especially breakfast. Because I'm used to waking up and eating mackerel, dumpling, yam, banana, porridge, food, real food. Jamaicans don't play when it comes to leftovers. Me that. If we cook rice, brown stew chicken yesterday, and there's some left in the fridge, believe me, that is my breakfast the next morning. We heat up a whole dinner for breakfast. Meanwhile, somebody's like, I'm going to have something like eggs or an apple. An apple? Just egg, just so, my dear? Mm-mm. And then I start seeing people drinking iced coffee and iced tea. The only coffee and tea I knew about growing up was hot. Tea in the morning, of course. Cold tea? Like, what? That was so new to me. Cold coffee? New. I had no idea that people drink tea cool or coffee cool. Like, that was like different for me. And then dinner got me too, because somebody will really sit down and say, I'm having a salad for dinner. A salad? Like, be for real. Awa? Because in my mind, I am waiting for you to tell me, what are you having with the salad? Where is the rice? Where is the meat? Where's the food? Where the food there? But honestly, neither way was wrong. It's just completely different from what I grew up knowing. And I think that's what made adjusting to America so interesting for me. You start realizing that there's so many different ways people live, eat, communicate, celebrate, and just go about their everyday lives. And the celebrations over here are huge. Like 4th of July, New Year's countdown, they go big. Fireworks and everything. Christmas, massive. When it comes to decorating Christmas tree, decorating house, putting presents under the tree, exchanging gifts, the shopping, the whole excitement. People go all out for Christmas. Then the weather. Because I'm in Florida, when it's hot, it's hot. Sometimes it feels like it's hotter than Jamaica. But when it's cool, my God, it is freezing. And I'm so used to the heat that as a little breeze blow, I am cold. And I'm skinny too, so you already know. I'm pulling out the snow jackets and everything. Yeah, the extra, I am layering up. Leg warmers, long johns, everything. And another part too, when I migrated, I started cooking more. Not because I wanted to, but because the food that I love and enjoy, the access was not easy. Like, I could just go down the road and get a box food, some fried chicken with curry gravy. I couldn't just go and get that. And when I do find a Jamaican spot, most of the times it don't taste good. Waste of money, waste of time. So to get some good Jamaican food, I had to cook my own. Thank God I paid attention in the kitchen when I was a child to learn to cook what I love. We can't help ourselves. But one thing I really love about America is the variety of food. You can find food from so many different cultures. You can get the American food, of course, Asian food, Puerto Rican food, Mexican food, so many different types of food. Because you have people from all over the world living there and bringing their culture with them. And when it comes to the beach, I don't really go to the beach that much. I can probably count on my fingers the amount of time I've gone to the beach there. We did mostly pools, and at the time, I couldn't swim. I would be by the water, not in the water. If I do go in the water, I was just holding on for my dear life or make sure the water level like 3 to 4 feet. Yeah. Yeah. I've also been to so many theme parks, fairs, and festivals. I've been to all the Disney parks. My favorite, Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom. I took you live with me to some of these places. The videos are still up on my channel. You can check them out. Disney World is such a beautiful experience. It really feels like you're stepping into a movie. The roller coasters, though, those took me out. I am done with those. Overall, living in America has taught me a lot. And if you really have the opportunity to go and experience another country, I think you should. I've learned so much living there. My mindset changed, the way I look at life changed, the way I handle things changed. Even when it comes to the work world and just learning how to navigate life, it has taught me so much. It's almost like you went to school and learned a completely different way of surviving and living. And I think that's one of the biggest things I took away from my experience living in America. What surprised you the most when you started spending more time in Jamaica again? One of the things that surprised me the most is probably going to sound a little weird. It's how much I see people trying to adapt to the American lifestyle. I'm so used to Jamaica being Jamaica. And when I'm out in the streets, I see people want to be American so bad. The way they act, the things they do. And sometimes I'm just like, this is definitely not giving Jamaican at all. And I think that's one of the things that stood out to me out the jump. There are also certain traditions that I grew up with that were just kind of enforced. For example, going to church on a Sunday was a must. You didn't have a choice. You didn't have a choice. Everybody had to go to church on a Sunday, whether you're a Christian or not. That was just something you did. I haven't gone to church that much since I've been back, but the times that I've gone, I'm looking around like, where is everybody? The church empty, guys. You can literally count the members that are there. Even on Easter Sunday, when you would expect more people to come out, it's still not like what I remember growing up. And another thing I noticed, you don't see kids playing outside like back in the day. You know, when you came home from school, you did your homework and then you go outside to play with the other kids. I don't see much of that anymore. And I don't see anybody coming to the house anymore asking for a cup of sugar. Like, hey, I'm out of sugar, I'm out of salt, you can get some sugar. What's up with that? Like, what happened to that? Even something as simple as getting ice cream on a Sunday was a thing, such a treat that we look forward to on Sundays. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I'm looking at it through my childhood memories. But I remember Sundays being so different. You'd get up, you'd help your mom in the kitchen, you'd help your grandmother in the kitchen, do stuff around the house. You'd help prepare Sunday dinner. And those were some of the most beautiful times. I never grew up saying I need to learn how to cook. I just happened to be in the kitchen helping my mom or my grandmother, and automatically you pick up one or two things. And those little things end up helping you later in life. And I feel like some of that traditional foundation isn't as strong for kids growing up today. Everybody's kind of doing their own thing. You don't even realize how good you have it here. Jamaica still have so much to offer. And one of the biggest things I really appreciate is the food. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my Jamaican KFC. That is not going anywhere. I love my patty and cocoa bread. That is a must as well. But other than that, it's probably once in a blue moon where I get fast food. You get what I'm saying? Most of the times when I'm on the road and I need something to eat, I'm getting a box lunch. I'm getting soup, jerk chicken, still food like you cook at home or you can cook at home. And that is something I really appreciate about being here. Because even though things are changing, there are still so many parts of Jamaica that I love and appreciate. You still see the street vendors, you still see people having conversations, laughing and talking to each other. That part is definitely still there. And I really hope some of those traditions and sense of community never completely disappear. Do you feel like living overseas changed you? I used to say America didn't really change me. The more I think about it, I've become extremely observant, and it's not something I consciously try to do. It's almost automatic now. I notice the little things, the way somebody talks to me, the way they move, their energy, their intentions. Sometimes somebody can be trying to be slick. I can sense it before they even finish what they're saying. My radar for people is just different now. And I've learned that when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. You don't have to make excuses for people or keep giving them opportunities to show you the same thing over and over again. I also think living in America taught me that I'm completely okay with being alone. Maybe at one point I liked the idea of having people around me, but now I genuinely enjoy my own company and I can be myself, do my own thing, and be perfectly okay. I think what happened is that I started prioritizing peace over people. And once you get to that point, you become a lot more selective about who you allow in your space. So, did America change me? Maybe not in the way people might expect. It didn't change my values, but it definitely changed my perspective. It made me more observant, better at reading people, and much more protective of my peace. Another thing I noticed was my mindset, especially when it comes to the working world. Things like standards, expectations, the do's, the don'ts, how you should handle certain situations, accountability, even how you communicate in real life or in a professional environment. I've learned that even if you're upset or angry, you still have to know how to handle yourself professionally. Even if you don't like somebody you're working with, you have to understand that work doesn't have to be personal. You go to work, you do your job, you go home. You have to learn how to separate your work life from your personal life. I think those are the things that I've really taken with me. One of the biggest things in America opened my eyes to is opportunity, especially when it comes to making money. Because Americans always find a way to make money, guys. Trust me. They will have 1, 2, 3 jobs. They're working every day, even on Sundays. Sunday is like a regular work day there. Some of the hardest working people I know are the people I've met in America. Whatever opportunity they see, they try to use it. So when I come back to Jamaica, and I'm like, wow, you could actually turn this into a business. And I don't think everybody here see those opportunities in the same way. We're thinking about the traditional careers. Be a teacher, the doctor, the police, things like that. And those are great, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you're not thinking about the business side of it. Like, I can actually create something for myself out of what I'm already doing. You don't necessarily need millions of dollars or even thousands of dollars to start a business. Sometimes you can take what you're already good at, something that you already love doing, and figure out how to turn that into an income. That's one of the biggest changes in me as well. I'm more business focused, and I can look at somebody's business, give them ideas. I can look at what they're doing and say, oh, this is working, but this is what could be improved. Honestly, I think this is where your strength is. This is what I think you should be doing because this is what you're naturally good at. I've worked in that environment. I've seen what works. I've seen what doesn't work. At the same time, I don't know everything, but I have a better understanding of these things based on where I was. And I think that's what living overseas really did for me. It didn't change who I am. It changed how I think. Do you feel more Jamaican after living overseas? One of the things about Jamaicans living overseas, you're gonna know they're Jamaican, alright? Jamaicans are proud people. If a Jamaican drive a car, trust and believe you're gonna see that Jamaican flag somewhere. It might be on their license plate, it might be hanging in the car, it might be on a boxing glove, it might be on a map. It's going to be somewhere on that car. And if you go into a Jamaican house, there will be a Jamaican cup or something Jamaican. Or if you see a Jamaican out on a boat, most of the time they're going to have something to let you know they're Jamaican. A Jamaican pendant, Jamaican shirt, slippers, just something. We have to let you know where we are from. And you see so many Jamaican food spots and Jamaican food trucks overseas. I do try to support them as much as I can. I love my Jamaican food and the Jamaican people. But don't get me wrong, just because somebody has a Jamaican food truck, a Jamaican restaurant, doesn't mean the food is automatically going to be good, okay? Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it's just like, it's edible. But I still try to support my people when I can. When Independence Day comes around, any chance I get to represent Jamaica, I'm wearing something Jamaican. I have a Jamaican bracelet, the shirt, all the Jamaican stuff, just everything. And when I come back home and go to my mom's craft shop, because she sells Jamaican souvenir, you already know I am stocking up. So when I go back overseas, I'm fully Jamaicanized. That spot me from miles away. And I think living overseas actually made me appreciate that part of myself even more. Because when you're away from home, those little things that represent where you're from start to mean so much more. So yeah, I definitely feel even more connected to being Jamaica after living overseas. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about being away from home. You realize just how much home is a part of you. And that's where I'm going to leave it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about me, my experience living overseas, and just seeing things from my perspective. And honestly, I really enjoy doing these kinds of videos because it gives me a chance to actually sit down and talk to you guys instead of just making quick shorts and moving on. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and let me know what else you want me to talk about next. And if you're new here, definitely subscribe because we're doing more long form videos over here. Yes, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye.